Micah McDavid, and today we're going to do a first grade lesson on nutrition. We are going to be using Kentucky Standard 1.1.2 to describe the types of foods and beverages that should be limited. Our lesson objective today is I can describe what food and drinks I should drink and how often. We're going to start the lesson with a review of yesterday's lesson and then get into our new lesson. All right. Hello, class.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yesterday during health, we talked about medications. Can anyone tell me something that we learned yesterday?
We learned that we do not need to take medicine when we don't need it and not to take too much when we do need it.
That's perfect. We did learn about that, and today we're going to expand on that a little bit and talk about how we also have certain food and drinks that we don't need to take too much of and eat too much of, and it can also harm our bodies. So our lesson objective today is I can describe what food and drinks I should drink and how often. Can we repeat that as a class? I can describe what food and drinks I should drink and how often. Okay, so before we begin this lesson, I want to know a little bit about what you guys know first. So we're going to have a pre-test, but don't worry. It's nothing too hard. We just want to see what you guys know. So don't forget to write our names at the top so that I know whose it is. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit. You guys will have 5 minutes. Start.
I'm done.
All right. When we're done, can we stay quiet for the other students?
Yes.
Before paper's over. Thank you. Is everyone finished?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to come around and pick up your tests. Oops. All right. So our first question on our pretest was, which of these is part of needed food groups? So we had candy, chocolate, vegetables, and ice cream. And from looking at what I see right now, a lot of you guys got that question right. So the correct answer was vegetables. That is the only one that we need. Number 2, there should be more meat than other food groups in your meal. Now, I see that people are disagreeing on this one. That was a little bit trickier. We're going to talk about that as our lesson goes on. We're going to watch a video about food groups, and we're going to learn about that. Number 3, how many food groups are recommended? We have 5 as the correct answer, and most of you got that, so that's awesome. We already know about the food groups. It is important to eat healthy, true or false. That of course is true, and it is unhealthy if I drink a sugary drink for every meal. A lot of you picked true on that one too, so I'm glad that we know we shouldn't drink too many sugary drinks with our food. Now, you guys had a little bit of a disagreement on the meat food groups. We're going to watch a Brain Pop Junior video about our food groups, and hopefully that question will be explained, and afterwards we'll talk about it.
What do you want for lunch? Moby, that's all junk food. That's not good for you. This plate reminds us how to use the food groups to eat balanced, healthy meals. What are the food groups? Vegetables have important nutrients we need to grow and stay healthy. Dark green vegetables like broccoli, spinach, kale, and collard greens have calcium, which our bodies use to grow strong bones. Carrots, sweet potatoes, bell peppers, squash, and beets have vitamin A, which helps protect and heal our bodies. Beans are also part of the vegetable group. They're a good source of protein, which you need to build strong muscles, including your heart. You should eat different vegetables so you can get different nutrients. Kids our age should get about 1.5 cups of vegetables a day. You can add a small salad at lunch and a helping of vegetables at dinner. Fruit is also an important part of a balanced meal. Fresh apples, oranges, bananas, and other fruits are loaded with vitamins that our bodies need for healthy eyes and skin. They also have nutrients that help us fight diseases. Fresh fruit and vegetables have fiber, which our digestive system uses to stay healthy. We should have about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of fruit a day. You can have fruit with your oatmeal in the morning and some grapes for a snack in the afternoon. Different colors of fruits and vegetables have different nutrients, so it's good to eat a variety of colors. Half your plate for each meal should be made up of fruits and vegetables. Grains are also an important food group. Bread, rice, pasta, oats, cereal, and tortillas are all part of the grains group. Most grains you eat should be whole grains, which are more nutritious. White bread, white rice, and sugary cereals are made with processed grains, which have lost a lot of their nutrients. Grains contain carbohydrates, which our bodies use for energy. They also contain a lot of fiber, which is good for our digestive system. We need about 5 ounces of grains a day. You could have half a bagel for breakfast, a sandwich with multigrain bread for lunch, and a helping of whole wheat pasta at dinner. Balanced healthy meal also has protein. The proteins food group includes meats like chicken, beef, and fish. It also includes eggs, nuts, beans, and tofu. Beans are part of both the protein and the vegetables group. Remember, our bodies use proteins to build muscles. We need about 4 ounces of protein a day. You could have a piece of wheat toast with peanut butter in the morning, a salad with chicken at lunch, and a small piece of fish at dinner. Try to get your protein from different foods. Dairy is another part of a balanced meal. Milk, soy milk, cheese, and yogurt are all part of the dairy group. Dairy foods have calcium, which our bodies use to grow healthy bones, teeth, and hair. Milk is a great source of vitamin D, too, which our bodies need in order to get calcium. You should pick plain milk that's lower in fat, such as skim or 1%. Chocolate and strawberry milk aren't good choices because they have tons of sugar. Kids need about 2.5 cups of dairy a day. We can have yogurt with fruit in the morning, a small carton of milk with lunch, and a little cheese at dinner. When you eat, take a look at your plate. Half your plate should have fruits and vegetables, with a bit more vegetables. The other half should have grains and protein, with more grains. There should be some dairy too. Explore foods from all the food groups so that you eat balanced meals and stay healthy. So, what are you going to have for lunch, Moby? A fish, oatmeal, cheese, carrot, strawberry smoothie? Gross.
Okay.
Who's ready to hatch some
So-
cool pets?
After watching that video and thinking about the test that we just took, a lot of you had on your test that you thought we needed more meat than other food groups. After watching that video, can someone tell me if that is true? Yes?
That's false.
It is false. So what did we see in that video? What was the diagram that she showed us? Which food groups did we need more of? Yes.
Fruits and vegetables.
We did need fruits and vegetables, but of the two, which one did we need a little bit more of? Yes?
Grains.
We needed more grains, and also between fruits and vegetables, we needed more
Vegetables.
vegetables. Perfect. Okay. So, on our plate, we might think that meat is more of what we need because that might be the first thing we think of when we think of our meals, but we actually need a little bit more of our grains and a little bit more of our vegetables than we do our meats. So, our next activity is going to be Think, Pair, Share. I'm going to put you guys in groups, and you're going to have a little bit of time to answer the questions that I give you in your heads. I want you to take time to think about it. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do that so that you know what you're going to talk about. And then you're going to talk with your partner quietly so we don't disrupt everyone. And you're going to have about 5 minutes to talk with your partner as I come around the room and try to help you guys figure it out. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about it as a class. We have 2 questions that we're going to do that with, and as I put you and your partners, I'll hand out your questions. All right, so Liv and Gwen, can you guys be partners for me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You sit.
Alright. So on the silver paper that I hand you, right now we are answering question number 1. Alright, you guys have 2 minutes to think about it in your heads, starting now. As we're thinking about these questions, think about the video we just watched and how the new information that you have about fruits and vegetables and grains and balancing your plate can help you with these questions. And remember that my plate was the diagram that we saw, that was a plate with all the different sections of colors on it. So if you see my plate on any of your questions, that is what we're talking about. We've got about 1 more minute. Think about how you'll discuss this with your partner. Also, remember what she said in the video about like our dairy not being chocolate milk, strawberry milk, and why she said that? Alright. Finish up your thoughts. And then I will give you 5 minutes to talk about it with your partners. All right. Go ahead and discuss what
Okay.
you read.
Think of a meal choice with all the food. Like you do.
Say this one first.
You
Make
go
sure we're on
first.
question number 1. Yeah.
I can use my plate to help me. I said in my brain, I said that you can use it to think about portions and what you need more of in your meal and what you don't need as much of. Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. That was a tough question for me.
I think it helps to think about what to prioritize in your meal. Like
Yeah.
like what I need. Like I probably need to eat more vegetables than I do. Because I love my fruit, but I need more vegetables than I do fruit.
Fruit, yeah.
And meat and grains are also important. I guess I don't eat as many grains as I should.
All right, Gwen. So you said that was a hard question for you. What part of the question confused you?
What does it mean by how can you use My Plate to help make food choices? Like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so on the My Plate diagram, it has the different color-coded sections and stuff that we saw in the video. So we're wondering how that visual in our heads can help us think about what we're eating. Think about your lunch that you had today at school and how much fruit and vegetables you had on your plate. Do you think it was balanced in the way that that picture showed us?
No, No.
Rarely ever is.
it's not balanced.
No?
Like what Olivia said, I think she said like portions, and we should be good with our portions.
So
Yeah.
when we think about what we had for lunch, what could we have changed that would have helped us at lunch have a better food choices?
I need to actually eat the veggies. Cause like you go
Oh,
through the
yeah.
line and they give you
They
a
gave
lot
you
of
food,
school.
but you didn't necessarily eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
Sometimes we put the food on our plates, but we don't actually get the nutrition if we don't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to work on that too. That's a good point.
And not getting too much or
Mhm.
too little.
Yeah. Because if it's too much of something, then you don't want to finish all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
Did we talk about question 2?
Not
also?
yet. We're gonna
Not
get to that in just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys can keep talking about how you would use it to help your meals at home, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like I need to think about when my mom goes grocery shopping, and so I
Yes.
always ask for junk food. I'm always asking for cheeses.
I like chips and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's because those are the good things, but we need to prioritize. Also, these things so that we're healthy when we grow up.
Yes.
Because
Get
Cheez-Its, the chips, those are
soda.
good.
I
It's
just
good.
love
I
soda.
do too. It's good to eat. It's important for you to eat, but it's also important to eat healthy foods too.
Yeah.
So not only does this help you make healthy meals, but also choosing between a healthy meal and a junk food.
It's hard to eat healthy foods when I have
I
Cheez-Its
know.
in my
I know.
my pantry.
And ice cream. I love ice cream.
Me too.
Yeah, I wish we could have ice cream for all meals. I would be so happy.
Me too.
That should count as my dairy.
Yes.
All
It
right. So I'm hearing discussions kind of pause a little bit or get away from what the topic was about. So we're going to talk about it as a class now. So, Liv and Glenn, what was your first question?
How can you use My Plate to help make food choices?
How can we use My Plate to help make healthy food choices? So I heard you guys talking a lot about what you ate today or what you eat at home. And so when we use that diagram, we can kind of see what we're eating. I heard Liv say something about ice cream should count as dairy. And while I agree ice cream is really good, we have to think about healthy food choices is what the question asked. So how can we make sure that our dairy that we're eating is a healthy choice? Do you remember what she said in the video about the milk that we choose?
Choosing milk that isn't super over processed. Like
Yeah.
I think it said skim milk was good,
Nothing with sugar.
and 1% is also good too.
That's great. Yes, she said 1% and skim milk was good choices because they were low on fat content. But she said that chocolate milk and strawberry milk had too much sugar in them, and so they don't necessarily help us with the nutrients we need from the dairy. The same goes for ice cream, unfortunately. But we can still enjoy some things like that, just in moderation. But now I'm going to have you guys do the same thing with the second question. So we're going to have 2 minutes to think about it on our own. And then we're going to once again discuss it with our partner afterwards. So you have a second question on your paper, starting now. We have a little less than a minute to think about our question, and then you'll be ready to talk about it with your partner. Now that we've thought about it amongst ourselves, we're going to talk about it with our partners again. So you guys can talk about it together, starting now.
You go first.
I was thinking about
That's very close to me.
like having rice with my meal and having
about rice.
chicken, and then maybe you could have corn or green beans as your vegetables. Me too. And then for the fruit, I was having trouble finding one because it seems odd to have a fruit with a dinner plate. So I said maybe you could just have like strawberries or blueberries for like a dessert instead of having something sugary
Yeah,
as
like
a
a
dessert.
yogurt parfait.
Yeah,
Like a little parfait.
with dairy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, my head was more Italian. I was thinking like a fettuccine, Alfredo.
Yummy.
which, and if you add chicken in it, that would be your protein, your grains, and dairy, all in one.
A triple whammy.
Yeah. And then for vegetables, I was thinking a salad always goes good with pasta. And then, like you said, it was a little difficult, but I wouldn't mind to have some strawberries laid out on my
Yeah.
plate too.
Yeah, me either.
So if I had pasta with a salad and some strawberries, I think that's good. Yeah. And then I was
I
also
like that
thinking
one.
too, like grilled cheese. Grilled cheese would have
Dairy,
with
grain.
also with your grains and your dairy.
Where's your vegetables with tomato soup?
That's good. That's
Grilled
good.
cheese and tomato soup.
What about your meat with grilled cheese? What would you do? That's hard.
That is hard.
Every time I have a grilled cheese sandwich at home, I don't have any meat with it.
Me either.
Well, let's think about, you said the protein part is hard. Now, protein doesn't necessarily have to just be meat. It can also be things like
Protein
beans.
You're
has-
right.
Protein or cheese has protein in it, does it not?
Does it?
Well, cheese is more of a dairy.
Yeah.
So although it does have some benefits and nutritional value, it's not necessarily the protein that we're looking for in our meal.
So maybe some nuts, like some cashews and some.
Yes, nuts are a good source
Peanuts.
of protein. Peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter. I didn't think of peanut butter. Oh, wow. Does peanut butter and jelly count as fruit and protein?
If the
And
jelly,
grain?
Jelly has sugar in it.
jelly has a lot of sugar in it. So jelly is a fruit, but we want to look for a very 100%
Okay.
natural jelly, something that's a
Okay.
little more nutritional.
Okay.
But that is a good idea. Peanut butter and jelly do have both fruits and proteins and grains.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere.
I think we have it.
I think we're getting somewhere.
All right. I'm hearing the class quiet down, so I think it's time for us to talk about it all together. Now, Gwen and Liv, can you guys tell me what your second question was for this activity?
Do you want it?
Think of a meal with all food groups.
Think of a meal with all the food groups. So first, what are the food groups?
Fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy.
Perfect. Okay, so let's start with dairy. What did you guys decide your meal would look like with dairy?
You go first.
Like a yogurt parfait.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
had a few ideas. I also said that maybe a fettuccine alfredo pasta
Okay.
would include dairy, or something more simple like a grilled cheese.
Okay, I like those options. Those are all very good, and they can go with a bunch of different meals. So for your grains, what would your grains look like in a meal?
I said like rice.
Rice is a great example.
I said the bread.
The bread of the
And-
grilled cheese?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Or the noodle.
Yeah, that is a good point. And fruits?
I said that I wouldn't mind to have some strawberries out on my plate. I
Yeah.
love strawberries.
Strawberries are wonderful, and they're also a really good option for fruit because there's no added sugars or anything when you're just talking about straight fruit. And what about your vegetables? What would your vegetables look like on your
Green
plate?
beans.
Green beans,
I liked her idea of vegetables
Mhm.
more than mine.
green beans and corn. Yeah, you guys are doing great coming up with examples. What about your protein?
In my pasta, I said that it could be a chicken
Yeah,
Alfredo pasta.
chicken is a great source of protein.
What
Okay.
else did we say?
I said, we couldn't think of a protein. Oh, we ended up thinking of like maybe some nuts if we were
Nuts?
having grilled cheese, some peanuts or some almonds.
That's perfect.
We got a steak too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good source of protein. All right, so moving on, we're going to talk about a little more about those food groups before we go into our next part of our lesson. So we just talked about what the different food groups are. Can someone repeat those for me?
Fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy.
Okay, so we have fruits. You said vegetables?
Yes.
Protein,
Mm-hmm.
dairy,
And grain.
and grains. All right. So can someone give me an example of a fruit?
Strawberries.
Strawberries. What else?
Blueberries.
Do tomatoes count?
Yes, tomatoes do count as a fruit.
Tomatoes.
Some people disagree. All right. What else? Bananas.
Ooh, good one. Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit.
I've never heard of a dragon fruit.
What? They look really cool.
Really?
Okay, could we also have some juices, 100% fruit juice, if we wanted to have it in
Apple
our drink?
juice, yeah.
Apple juice, that's great. But we have to be careful with juice. There are certain juices that have a lot of sugar in them, so we gotta make sure we're looking for 100% fruit juice. Okay, vegetables. Do we have any examples of vegetables?
Corn.
Corn,
Beans.
beans. Now,
Green beans. Green.
there we go. Good, because beans are a source of what?
Protein.
Good job. Beans fall under protein. Okay, do we have any other vegetables?
Cucumber.
Cucumber?
Mushroom.
Mushrooms?
Kale.
I heard kale.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can we think of some proteins? We already got beans,
Chicken.
chicken,
Almonds.
almonds, because nuts are a good source of protein. Is there any other meats that you guys can
Beef.
think of?
Yeah.
Beef?
Beef.
Good. Can you guys think of dairy?
Yogurt.
Yogurt.
Milk.
Milk.
Mm. cheese.
There we go. Good
Cheese.
job. Can we think of grains?
Pasta.
Pasta,
Rice.
rice,
Bread.
bread. Now, do we remember from the video what type of bread she said we should eat more of?
Whole
Whole
bread.
grain.
Whole grain. All right, this is a good list. Now, we're gonna watch another short little video about My Plate so that you guys can refresh yourself on what we talked about earlier.
What is
And
My
think about
Plate?
what we just
My
talked
Plate
about
is the new
and
food
the
pyramid.
food
My
options that
Plate
we have over
emphasizes
here
fruit,
and where they would go.
vegetable, grains, proteins, and dairy groups, and was created to help remind consumers to make healthier food choices. So what are in these food groups? Any fruit or 100% fruit juice counts as part of the fruit group. Fruits may be fresh, canned, or dried, and may be whole, cut up, or pureed. Any vegetable or 100% vegetable juice counts as a member of the vegetable group. Vegetables may be raw or cooked, fresh, frozen, canned, or dried, dehydrated, and may be whole, cut up, or mashed. Any food made from wheat, rice, oats, cornmeal, barley, or another cereal grain is a grain product. Bread, pasta, oatmeal, breakfast cereals, tortillas, and grits are examples of grain products. All foods made from meat, poultry, seafood, beans and peas, eggs, processed soy products, nuts, and seeds are considered part of the protein group. Beans and peas are also part of the vegetable group. All fluid milk products and many foods made from milk are considered part of the dairy group. Most dairy group choices should be fat-free or low-fat. So before you eat, think about what goes on your plate, cup, or bowl. What's on your plate in 2015?
Okay, so when you guys are looking at this diagram, this is what I've been referring to as My Plate. It looks like our plates do, but it has the sections of what we should put on our plates and how much. So can you guys tell me what this portion is? We have some meat, we have some fish. What do you guys think goes there? Protein, perfect. What do you guys think goes up here?
Dairy.
Dairy. What is this group? We have some
Vegetables.
broccoli, vegetables. Up here we have an apple and banana, fruit. And right here we have some bread and rice.
Grains.
Grains. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to hand out an example of the My Plate diagram, and you guys are going to write in each section which area you think the different things go in. Now remember that the way we spell them are on the board, so if you guys need to look at the board to spell it, you can, and think about like the different vegetables and everything, and you can look at the board at this picture to tell which section is which. Okay.
Thank you.
So I just want you guys to
Thank you.
label the different food groups on your plate. When you guys are done with that, I'm going to show hands.
Where's my hand?
Okay, it looks like we're all done. So now, using what your food groups you have labeled, I'm going to pass out some fruits and vegetables, some grains, some little pictures of the type of food that we might have on our plate. I'm going to have you cut and paste and glue them in the sections that you think that they go in. Now I'm going to take this away because we're going to try to do it with what we learned today. You guys just come up with good examples on the board. And so I know that you guys know what your food groups are and what some examples of them are. This is going to kind of be an assessment like we had at the beginning of class. But now you guys know what we learned today. And so I'm going to see if you guys know what the different food groups are and what foods would go in them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes.
5
Oh,
minutes.
no.
Do you guys need more time?
We'll see how the 5
Yeah.
minutes goes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys don't have to use all of them. I just want to
Oh,
make sure
okay.
that there are food in each section of your plate.
Okay. That helps.
Oops.
If you guys have any questions or need help, let me know.
Pasta.
What is this? What is this supposed to be?
Which one?
It looks like a cup of milk.
Milk.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
There's a pretzel in here.
I love pretzels. I think pretzels go with anything. I like pretzels and ice cream together.
Pretzels and ice cream.
You know, a lot of people think I'm a little weird for that.
That
I
is
think
weird.
it's.
Do you dip your pretzels in your ice cream?
I might crush them up and put them in there.
That is weird.
Have you ever had froyo?
Yes.
Froyo and pretzels?
Okay, let's remember this is an assessment.
Sorry. It's okay.
We have about
Oh,
2
2 minutes.
minutes. Is anyone thinking they're going to need more time?
I think I'm okay.
I think I'm good too.
Okay.
Oops. What was I thinking?
42 seconds.
How many are we supposed to put on here, Miss Micah?
Just make sure that there's at least one thing in each section.
Okay.
You can put more if you want to. Alright, we've got about 10 more seconds.
Perfect. I did it.
Okay. Is everyone done?
Yeah.
Alright, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna take those up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, before we close the lesson, I just want to ask, what did we learn today? At the beginning of the lesson, we had a few questions, and you guys got most of them right, but we did have one that we were kind of confused about. What can you guys tell me that cleared up any confusion from the beginning?
We do not need as much meat as I thought. And meat is not the only protein.
Yes.
There's other proteins. Than
Good.
meat.
I like that that's something that you learned and you thought about. Is there anything else that you guys thought about today that you might not have known at the beginning?
More vegetables than fruit.
More vegetables than fruit. Well, you guys did a great job. Thank you. And we'll talk about it again tomorrow.
Perfect.